We ran it past people to make sure it was correct, but Grant, where's the 50% match? So we didn't. So that's total. Accurate.
Okay, you're good with it.
The only other thing that
They're gonna match whatever you do.
Alright, you're good with it. So if we do 2 million, they'll not.
the money part is part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the application,
Okay.
so one of them is $2 million. That's what we're voting for.
Right.
But they ask what is the total cost of the project.
Yeah.
And so, was I right? Was I correct in the email?
If they approve $2 million, then yes, I'll need to put the amount of the project. It's 4 million.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It just depends on which question you ask. Yes, it is 50% or it's 100%. It just depends on
How you look at it. How you look at it.
Oh.
could be 50% match in the total project, and could be 100% match in whatever dollar.
Joe?
You get 2 more quotes.
Is it the chicken fried steak day?
Yeah.
It's a carb day. Yay. We need a lot of carbs. I found some. Somebody so this one. Hey, Butch.
Are you Gary?
Good.
Tried to call him, he's not answering, so in case he's in the parking garage, I'm gonna give him a minute and we'll get started. Don't you? Yeah, she said she was gonna read it into the record. Okay. Okay. Uh, well, I think District 3 was suggesting that that they had identified and were waiting on. Okay, I will call the special BOCC meeting to order. Brian Munn present with Chief Deputy Joe Blau. And the notice of the meeting was properly posted November 23rd. And I'll lead us in the prayer and pledge. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the time of Thanksgiving with our family and the time that we were able to grant employees to rest and enjoy their family and loved ones. We're ready to be back and work and serve the public. We'll ask for your hand and safety over all of our employees as they go through this winter season. In your name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. And our first item I've got something I can say about this, but I don't know if you have anything you want to say about it. It's just the two of us here.
And I'm assuming, Commissioner, that these names for this at-large consideration would be at our next meeting.
Right. And just trying to come through with how we did this for the jail trust, I was muddling through in my mind with the kind of the chicken and the egg stuff about where it came. And I know that as for me, people who have expressed an interest, I've referred them to Tim Tardy-Bono and C-Jack, who are helping vet them and interview them. And but I think that there's more nominations than there are slots available. So I think they were going to kind of they are willing, I should say, to put together a list for us to choose from. And we had said we would do this by the 5th. And so what the next item would be is to extend that date to where it accommodates us still being able to get that done by the end of the year, but just not technically on December 5th.
Right.
But I mean, I'm just trying to put something on the board here. It's a white canvas. If you've got another suggestion, let me know.
That sounds fine.
Okay. All right. Well, then if, no, and of course, Mr. Tardy-Bono's here, but if I assume that's agreeable to you, sir, I mean, I'm just talking like you're not in the room. Okay.
We're at your pleasure.
Okay. Well, I think sometimes when people question about what they do in exchange for the money that we invest into that organization, this is a resource to where they're able to be of great help because it doesn't violate Open Meetings Act, and it's a central repository for us, all three districts, to send. And I appreciate you being a coordinator and willing to do that. So if that's okay with District 1, I will go ahead and move the item to allow each of us to submit a list of and refer people to C-Jack and wait for them to send us a list of recommendations. All right. It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then in order for that to be realistic, item 2 is necessary, which is to extend the resolution that was previously passed from a December 5th deadline to a December 19th. It could happen before, but that's at least gives us time. All right.
Yeah.
And I'll move the item.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, back to the reason we actually had a special meeting today. It was just item 3. I don't know if anybody wants to jump up and talk first, but this was about submitting the application for potentially receiving $2 million. It would, as it points out, require a match of up to $2 million. It isn't necessarily that we would be, for the treasurer's question, we will not necessarily be granted $2 million. We're asking for $2 million. And at which time, whenever we know what we would be likely to receive, that's when we would need to send a letter of encumbrance to show what our match. And if we couldn't match that at that time, then we can always decline the grant. So the number in itself is not a known quantity because we have to wait and see what, if even we're approved for anything, but to see if we're approved for the max or not.
If I may, is it safe then to assume from the comments that we're in the process of looking now for up to $2 million, are we not? I mean, we're not gonna wait until we find out what the final amount is before we try to find the match, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
It would need to be a watch item for the BET for sure to hunt possible options. District 3 is not present, but I've heard through the other staff that's talked with District 3 that they believe they've identified some things. And I think Joe was just explaining that he has some ideas, but they haven't obviously been approved by the BET. But there are at least some suggestion points.
Okay, so it is being at least discussed and worked right now.
Cody will have it on the next BET
Okay.
to consider putting it on the watch list.
Okay.
And then, as Commissioner Mon said, I think Miles had some other things that he may be working on.
Okay.
And if ultimately we can't find it, then, we can pass on the grant. This
Okay.
does not obligate us today. It's just trying to see if we're even in the running for it.
I mean, I'm all for that. But obviously take $2 million any day we can get it. But if we're gonna have to match it, we need to find that money.
Sure. We'll count on you to do your part.
I have already pledged to the chairperson that I will be happy to provide zero. You all can take it from
We're
there.
off to a great start.
All right. Only $2 million to go. I know Gretchen wanted to point out that there was a Scrivener's error on the statute listed.
Correct. We had to do some preliminary research to figure out the appropriate entity to apply for the grant, and it will absolutely have to be the Board of County Commissioners, and your statutory authority is not the one recited in the agenda item, but rather still Title 82, but Section 1085.32, and all corresponding documents with regard to the grant need to be amended, which may include the resolution and the actual grant application, which is it's just truly a Scrivener's error. And I can give a copy of this statute to the clerks of the board to make it part of the record.
Okay.
So if anyone asks,
Motion to receive Gretchen's document.
Second.
but it does establish you have the statutory authority, so.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? All right, I will move that we apply for this grant with that correction of the referred statute.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any comments, District 1?
Nothing.
None from me. Citizens' participation? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.